We need to talk about clean goths. There's been this trend on TikTok where a lot of people have been referring to themselves as clean goths or clean girl goths, and it's ruffled a lot of feathers in the goth community. Recently, little niche memes like this have popped up and they've been describing this aesthetic as clean goth. Basically just saying, oh, like you can be a clean girl, but you can also be goth. And it's like traditional clean girl things like Stanleys and Lululemon jackets, but in black. Now, let me make this clear. Just because you are a goth person that decides not to do their makeup every day or dress traditionally goth, that's fine. You don't have to do those types of things. Usually, people who are self-designated clean goths aren't usually into what makes gothic subculture. It is a common misconception that goth people always have black makeup and spiky eyeliner and tousled black hair, but that just isn't the case. There are a lot of different types of goth aesthetics. This is just typically associated with trad goth. There's also Victorian goth, vampire goth, romantic goth, hippie goth, casual goth, and a lot more. Goth originated in the 1970s in the United Kingdom, and it's very closely related to punk and punk culture. Through the 80s and 90s, it gained commercial success and was introduced to more and more alternative souls who enjoyed goth music. Some goth artists include Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, Christian Death, and my personal favorite, goth metal band Typo Negative. Goth music is mainly characterized by its songs mainly contain minor chords, often poetic lyrics, topics of death, and dark romance. But I'll just give you a good dichotomous key as to how to identify goth music. Does it sound like da 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 da? Then it's probably goth. Although many who enjoy goth music wear black makeup and clothing, that's not always the case. Wearing black does not make you goth. Wearing dark makeup does not make you goth. Listening to goth music and choosing to participate in the music-based subculture along with its values makes you goth. While making this video, I stumbled across a lot of different goth content and content creators and their takes on what makes someone goth. One creator that I really aligned with was at a vampire chick or catacombs with a K on TikTok.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
9/11. 9/11.
They had originally made a video in 2022 referencing how listening to goth music was the only determining factor whether someone should be able to identify as goth within gothic subculture. However, they later posted an update. Their update was made a few days ago as I'm recording this, which is in January of 2024. I can't believe it's 2024. I feel old. I'm 18. I don't know why I feel old. Their video, there is a lot to read, but it is very important, and I'll narrow down the main 6 points of their video. And you'll see how this relates to clean goths in a second. 1. Although goth isn't as strict as punk culture, you cannot be a heavy conservative and be goth. This is because of the fact that goth is against forced conformity, traditional beliefs, and typical social norms. It supports individuality and is also very anti-consumerist. I will touch on this later as it is a huge part of the problem, as the subgenres and niches that have stemmed from goth culture are a product of capitalism. 2. You have to be interested and invested in this subculture. In their words, listening to 2 Cure songs isn't enough. I completely agree. 3. Fashion is an extremely important part of goth culture. They say that, quote, it is an outlet of self-expression and a form of rebellion against conformity. Fear of judgment is valid, but letting it dictate your expression goes against the very core values of being goth. I both agree and disagree with this take. Personally, I dress like Adam Sandler half the time. And that's the deal with a lot of other goth people. This is because I both have a couple of medical issues with my body, so it'll just decide to abuse me on a random Thursday, and it's just more comfortable to wear things that are looser on my body, even though my favorites are form-fitting black dresses. I just sometimes can't do that. Additionally, before I was 18, I have like a piece of hair in my mouth that just like keeps it, whatever. Before I turned 18, I was living with my parents, and I love my parents. My parents are great, but they wouldn't let me out of the house if I was wearing dark makeup or dark clothing. So you'll see in a lot of my other videos, a lot of my other content, I'm not in dark makeup or dark clothing. That's because I wasn't allowed to. But now that I am older and I am able to, I love doing my makeup and I love going out of the house in goth clothing. However, still, I can't do it a lot because I also have sensitive eyelids, so it's great. What I say to her really depends on the day and how I'm feeling, but it's individual to me. However, I look forward to the day when my body allows me to go out in a tight black dress without having my abdomen pulsate to the point where I'm dropping to the ground. But fashion is important when it comes to goth culture. A lot of goth people express themselves through their fashion, which is typically lace, black clothing, a lot of dresses. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I wish that I owned a ton more goth clothing, and my goal is to own more goth clothing, particularly by, I don't know how I said particularly, but I know it's not right. Particularly from small independent artists off of Etsy, but I am broke right now because I had to focus on school and I don't have a job. Fourth, individuality is important and you shouldn't imitate other goth people or gaslight yourself into liking all traditionally goth bands. I'll say it, this is extremely valid. You're not going to like every song from every goth band that's popular with other goth people. Personally, I love Typo Negative, Tiamat, Christian Death, The Cure, and She Wants Revenge. However, others I'm not a huge fan of. I like some of the songs by Susie and the Banshees, but they're not my favorite, and that's okay. They don't have to be. Number 5, which directly refers to goth types like clean goths popularized in niche memes, are against goth values. This is where I'm going to refer to my point earlier regarding capitalism trying to claim an inherently anti-commercial subculture to make money. Branding black clothes and accessories as goth is disrespectful to those who actually participate in the subculture. It has diluted the concept of being goth to a watery, palatable subculture that's sole purpose is to gain money from those who are uneducated toward goth culture, but want to be edgy or dark. The problem is that people use the word goth to refer to anything that's dark or alternative now. This becomes an issue when the community is filled with people who mistake themselves as goth and begin to twist what goth is meant to be about. The gothic subculture has never truly been mainstream. Goth people have been bullied, harassed, and judged for their aesthetics for decades. That's the issue. It is a group of people who have banded together to support one another in their interests and lifestyles. It's kind of like joining a knitting club and saying you don't like to and don't want to knit, but you like wearing sweaters, so that's why you joined. This relates to self-proclaimed clean goths in a very distinct way. If you wear a black Lululemon jacket, have a black Stanley, black nails, and a black purse, it does not make you a clean girl goth. It makes you a clean girl who likes the color black. However, not all goth people should feel the need to overcompensate for others trying to infiltrate the subculture. I feel guilty for not dressing goth or doing my makeup on the daily. I love goth music, but I also have sensitive skin and I can't do my makeup every day, or I probably wouldn't have eyelids. This is why I made my own goth makeup brand a while back, but I had to discontinue it because of the fact that I was overwhelmed with schoolwork and couldn't be in my lab making makeup all day and also focus on biology and, more importantly, math. I hate math. I'm going to be a doctor. Why does math have to be so hard? Additionally, I have very soft facial features that don't really complement trad goth makeup, like this. I don't think that people who aren't goth and have identified themselves as clean girl goths truly know about the importance behind gothic subculture. They're just consuming what has been fed to them through media. They just want a name for their aesthetic. The 6th and final point made by Catacombs is that pre-made goth... Why does it keep doing this? I had to cut my hair last night because my split ends just kept plaguing me. And I was like, you know what? I was on my sleep meds already. I don't know why I chose to do this. I was just like, let's chop it off. Let's just chop it off. And then groggy morning Sam woke up and she was like, why is my hair this short? And then I remembered. So, you know what? I'm just gonna have to deal with it. The 6th and final point brought up by Catacombs is that pre-made goth clothing isn't inherently bad. and not all of us want to spend hours making our own clothing, but it's important to style them in a way that retains your individuality because they are so mass-produced. As we're reaching our conclusion, I wouldn't feel comfortable making a video without goth culture without mentioning the faults of goth culture. There are some people that think in order to be goth, you have to be white. Now I know, I am not the most qualified person to talk about this, but it has to be said. Even though I'm paler than my boyfriend, who is a ginger, goth people can be of any race, and those who insist on restricting others outside of the typical pale stereotype are bigots and don't deserve to be in the goth subculture or call themselves goth. I know that Dollskill had a scandal a while back where they had this shirt that said goth is white. Some claimed that their point was to emphasize the fact that white clothing also fits into goth culture, but it was just in poor taste and poorly executed. This is another example of how companies trying to brand their clothing lines as goth fail miserably most of the time. Like, why would you do that? Why would you make a shirt like that? So what did we learn? In the words of Catacombs, when I DM'd them to ask if it was okay if I referenced their content in my video, when it comes to goth, both the music and the attitude matters. I couldn't agree more. Self-proclaimed clean goths, if they don't listen to the music or have an attitude toward goth culture that embraces its values, are not goth. Thank you for watching this, and if this video does well, I'm probably not going to do vlogs in the future. I just really enjoy doing content like this where I delve into subject matter that I'm really passionate about and I just dissect it. I really love doing it and I'm probably going to do more in the future. So tell me in the comments if you want more like this or I should crawl back into the hole that I came from. Thank you, be safe, and have a wonderful rest of your day.